Okay, let's get started. Okay, so does everybody have their math book out and open to page 611? Go ahead, open up to page 611. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody and give me a thumbs up when your book is open to page 611. Good, Ziad, good, Isabella, good. Okay, so let me get my class dojo out for everybody. Okay, who can raise their hand and tell me what the answer was to number 1 on their homework? What was the answer to number 1 on our homework page? Wasi.
11:30.
11:30. Give me a thumbs up if you got 11:30 for number 1. Very good. You have your analog clock there. That shows your big hand is on the 6, which means 30. And your little hand is between the 11 and the 12, but you go with the first number, it's 11:30. Good. Who can raise their hand and tell me what answer they got for number 2? Number 2. Ziad.
2:30.
2:30. Give me a thumbs up if you got 2:30. Did everybody get that? Good. Go ahead and flip your page. Flip your page so that you are on the back. Okay, good. What is the answer to number 3? Number 3 on the top of the back. Top of page 612. Hendrix.
1:30.
1:30. Good. Did everybody get 1:30? Did everybody get 1:30? Jaleel, thanks for joining us. We are on page 612 of our math book. We are checking our homework. So open your math book to page 612. We are checking our homework. Good. Let me give a point to Hendrix for answering that. Okay, what's number 4? Number 4, Mohammed.
Number 4 is 5:30.
What'd you say?
5:30.
5:30. Good. Did everybody get 5:30 for number 4?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. And then who can tell me? Let me read number 5 out loud. Number 5 says, Will begins his homework at 6 o'clock. So let's take our analog clock and bring it all the way around to 6 o'clock. So he starts his homework at 6 p.m. It takes him 1/2 an hour to finish it. So not a whole hour, just half of one. So the hand moves down here. So we didn't go a full hour, we only went half of the hour. What time is it now? What is the answer to number 5? What time is it now? Isabella.
6:30.
6:30. Very good. Give me a thumbs up if you got 6:30 for that one. Good. Glad to hear it. Okay, let me give Isabella a point if I can find her name on here. There we go. Good. Okay, so now flip your page 1. You should be looking at this page. Page 614. Give me a thumbs up when you're there. What's your question, Mohammed?
How about page 6? I did page 6.
Which page, honey?
612 down. It's 6 o'clock.
Oh, number 6?
Number 6.
Yeah, you didn't have to fill that one in. That's okay.
I did it.
Okay, good. Extra practice helps. Okay, flip your page so you're on page 614 and give me a thumbs up when you're there. Isabella's ready. Ziad's ready. Page 614 is where you should be. Mohammed is ready. Good. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, today we are going to be talking about telling time to the hour and the half hour, which you all should know how to do now since we just had several lessons covering it. Remember that when you tell time to the hour, your big hand or your minute hand is always pointing straight up at the 12, and your small hand or your hour hand will be pointing straight at a number. So this is a time to the hour. Who knows what time this is? who can raise their hand and tell me what time this clock is showing us. This is time to the hour. Ziad, what time is it? 7 o'clock. My big hand is straight up at the 12, so I know that it's something o'clock. And then my hour hand is straight at the 7, so I know it's 7 o'clock. That's what we look for when we're telling time to the hour. When we are telling time to the hour, your big hand will always be pointing straight up. When we are telling time to the half hour, our big hand or our minute hand will always be pointing straight down at the 6. You can see that it's right on top of that 6. And then your hour hand or your shorter hand will always be in between two numbers. So who can tell me what time is this clock showing? What time is this clock showing us? Isabella.
It's showing, wait, what's that number? 6.
Okay, take your time. Look at what two numbers our hour hand is in between.
9:30.
9:30. Very good, Isabella. I like how you took the time to think about that and get to the right answer. Very good. So, time to the half hour, your big hand is always pointing straight down. Time to the hour, your big hand is always pointing straight up. So, let's look at number 1 on page 614. Ziad, do you have a question?
Yeah. What page are you guys on?
We're on page 614. All you had to do was from your homework was flip the page 1. So let's take a look at number 1. Number 1, so what they want us to do on these next couple pages is we have to draw the minute hand to show the time, and then we have to write the time on that digital clock. So number 1, who can tell me what time is written on number 1? Can anybody read that for me? It's something ... something. What time is written on number 1? Wasi?
11:30.
11:30. So on that analog clock, the clock that looks like this, right next to it, you want to draw your hand in so that it shows 11:30. It gives us the hour hand. We have to draw the minute hand. So you can see our hour hand is here between the 11 and the 12. Our hour hand is drawn for us. You guys on number 1 have to draw this hand. You need to draw that hand pointing straight down at the 6. You're drawing the minute hand. Mohammed, do you have a question?
How are we gonna do next 6:15?
We're on page 614 right now. Page 614 right now. So you should have drawn your minute hand kind of like that. It should be pointing straight down at that number 6. And then on your digital clock, you're just going to write 11:30. 11:30. Good. So number 2 says 5:30. 5:30 is another way of saying 5:30. So 5:30 would look like this, right? It shows us our our hour hand there. On that analog clock on number 2, I see our hour hand. So you guys need to go ahead on number 2 and draw in the longer minute hand. And then fill in the digital clock. Right? So number 2, you should have drawn your hour hand pointing straight down. And then you should fill in the digital clock to say 5:30. It should look like this. That's what you should have for number 1 and number 2 on page 614. Hendrix, please stop spinning. You're making me dizzy. Good. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a thumbs up if you did number 1 and number 2. Cool. Okay, so I want you guys to do this page on your own, but I'm going to read them out loud for you. So number 3 you can do on your own. Number 3 says 3:30. The minute hand, you have to draw your minute hand, and you have to draw or write the time on the digital clock. So go ahead and do just number 3 and give me a thumbs up when you're done. Do just number 3. Don't do the whole page, just do number 3. Give me a thumbs up when you're done with number 3, and then we'll move on. Cool. So for number 3, it said 3:30. So we should have drawn our long minute hand pointing straight down at the 6. And this is what you should have written on the digital clock. Did everybody get that? Give me a thumbs up if that's what you've got. Good. Okay, so number 2 says 9 o'clock. Next to number 4. Next to number 4, it says 9 o'clock. So go ahead on that analog clock, draw 9 o'clock, and on the digital clock, write 9 o'clock. I'm going to do it here. Just do number 4. We're going to go through these one by one. So just do number 4. And then we will check to see that we all got the correct answers. Take about 10 seconds. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. I'll give out some dojo points. The friends that I see are done. Jaleel, do you have a question?
Can you, wait. So that's it again.
Do you have a question or no, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. Wasi, do you have a question?
Yeah. Do we do the whole on my own page?
Nope, we're going through it one by one so I can read those words out loud to you. Okay, so for number 4, did everybody's look like this? That's what yours should look like. You should have your minute hand pointing straight up at the 9 to show 9 o'clock, and then your digital clock should say 9:00. Good, I got lots of thumbs up, so it makes me think that that's what we all have. Okay, number 5. Number 5, you are on that analog clock. You are going to draw 1:30, which means 1:30. So on that analog clock, add your minute hand for 1:30 and then draw 1:30 on your digital clock. Take about 10 seconds to do that and give me a thumbs up when you're done. And I'll give dojo points to the friends that I see are giving me a thumbs up because they are done. Good.
Rusky.
Yes, Mohammed?
What number do we put?
For number 5, you're drawing 1:30. You're drawing 1:30. Good. So did everybody get this on number 5? You should have your minute hand or your big hand pointing straight down at the 6. And your digital clock should say 1:30. Good, Ziad. Good, Jaleel. Good, Hendrix. Good. So number 6, you are drawing 8 o'clock. So on your analog clock, draw where your minute hand goes. And on your digital clock, write 8 o'clock. Give me a thumbs up when you are ready to move on. Isabella looks ready. Lima. Good. So for number 6, did everybody get this? Your minute hand should be pointing straight up at the 12, and your digital clock should say 8:00. Give me a thumbs up if that's what you got. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Number 7, on that digital clock. You don't have to do the analog clock this time because there isn't one. You are just filling in the digital clock. You are writing 2:30. 2:30. So right in that digital clock, what time is 2:30? And I'll make it on our analog clock so we can see it. 2:30. So, on our analog clock, this is 2 o'clock, right? Our big hand is on the 12, our little hand is on the 2. 2:30, so we're not going a full hour, we're only going halfway through, takes us here. This is 2:30. So 2:30 is what time? Who can raise their hand and tell me? 2:30 is what time? Isabella?
It is 2:30.
2:30. So for number 7, you should have drawn 2:30. On that digital clock, you should have 2:30 written on the bottom. Number 7 down here. Good. Number 8, you are writing 6 o'clock on that clock. So that one should be easy. That digital clock, you are just writing 6 o'clock. So you should have 6:00. That's what you should have written on that clock. Sorboni, you can go ahead and get out your math book. We are on page 615. So these are the answers that you should have for page 615. Go ahead and take a look, double check, make sure you have all of your answers correct. Good, and then you can flip your page so you're on the back. Flip your page so you're on the back. I'm at the top of page 616, 616. I'm going to read number 9 out loud to you. Here's where everyone should be. I'm right up here. I'm going to read number 9 out loud to you. It says, the hour hand is between 1 and 2. So I want you guys to go ahead and draw that. Find your number 1 and your number 2 on this clock. Find 1 and find 2, and draw your shorthand or your hour hand pointing in between those 2 numbers. Hi, Hakeem. You can go ahead and get out your math book if you have it, please. Yes, Mohammed.
What one is the small one? Is it
the shorter hand is your hour hand. So you want your hour hand pointing in between 1 and 2. You want to draw your hour hand pointing in between the 1 and the 2. Number 9 says the hour hand is in between 1 and 2. The minute hand, or our longer hand, is on the 6. So draw your minute hand or your long hand pointing straight down at the 6. And I'm going to make that on here. So this is what the clock that you drew should look like. That's what it should look like. Your minute hand, or excuse me, your hour hand or your shorter hand is in between the 1 and the 2, and your minute hand or your longer hand should be right on the 6. So who can raise their hand now? It says, what time did we draw? Who can raise their hand and tell me what time is on this clock? What time is on this clock? Hakeem, what time is on this clock? 1:30. 1:30. So underneath number 9, you can write 1:30, just like this. You should have drawn the hands on your clock, and now you are writing 1:30 underneath. You can write 1:30 underneath. Does that make sense? Did everybody get that? Thumbs up? Good.
Broski, are we supposed to put one story on the red box?
Nope, that's for the next one, honey. I just want you to write it right underneath the words. Right underneath that story problem. Good. Okay, now I'm going to read number 10 for us. Right underneath that, number 10. It says, the time on our clock is 1 hour after 2. So right here, I made 2 o'clock. I made 2 o'clock on this clock. Now I'm going to go 1 hour later. So I'm going to go all the way around my circle. My big hand goes all the way around back to the 12. What time is it now? What time is it now? Who can raise their hand and tell me?
Mr. Broski, what page is it on?
Page 616 we are on.
Okay.
Page 616. Who can raise their hand and tell me, what time does this clock show? Mohammed.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Good. So on your digital clock there, you can write 300. Just like that. Good. So one more time, I'll show it to you. This is what you should have gotten on our first page. On the front, page 615. And then this is what we should have gotten on the back. Everybody give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Good. Okay, so your guys' homework page is going to be page 617 and page 618. That's what you're going to be completing for homework. All of you, your parents, need to download this app right here. Hendrix, Ziad, who else? Hendrix, Ziad, and Isabella, you already downloaded it, so that's awesome. Thank you very much for doing that. You want to download this app, and this is where I need you to turn in your homework. I have to turn in grades for you guys. This app is called Shobi. I have to turn in grades for you guys. So I need you, when you finish your math homework, you're going to take a picture of it and put it in here. So when you open this app, just a minute, Ziad. When you open this app, you're going to see that there's an assignment. It says math homework. You'll click that, and that's where you're going to put it. And then I'll just be able to click on your name and see that you turned it in. So that app is called Shobi. Please download that so I can give you grades. Are there any questions about that? Okay, if there are no questions. Oh, Hakeem has a question. Yes, Hakeem.
Is it Shobi, S-H-O-B-I-E, or
It is Showbie.
B-I-E? Okay.
Do you guys have Class Dojo?
We do. I
Yes.
just messaged you on there.
Did you? Okay. Just a minute, Mohammed. Awesome. So on Class Dojo, oh, I see that you just did that. On Class Dojo, I sent out a link or a class code for Shobi, and so that is where you'll need that to make the account. And then if you want to stay on this meeting, we can talk privately after I log everybody off, if that works for you.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Just a minute, you guys.